final turn. Yeah, the player one never gets to see the player two's final turn. I don't know if there's any way to do it. Um, okay, so looking at obviously a crushing defeat for Germany. Me. um, well, I mean, I took no victory hexes, and I probably needed to in order to get anything. Now he may have actually. Yeah, so there's only 400 points to start from victory X's. Um, the other points are coming from these losses, Norway's losses, which were actually quite high, but mine were too. Um, so I also lost. I lost artillery. I think what that was. Oh, the mortars. You know, you must have finally killed a mortar in the last turn, and I lost two Kubelwagens. That was the two there. So I mean, that's the fair amount of points. Well, no, it was nothing surprising in it. I was expecting a crushing defeat. My losses were higher than normal, but so was his. But at least he got decisive victory out of it, so I guess it's worth it. Um, yeah, well, I mean, what did I do wrong? Pretty much everything, I think. Um, the points, again, I didn't really spend my points wisely. I think it was waste buying two tanks, like the 38 Ts was a complete waste of points. I should have. I, I I may actually consider not buying any armor the next time. I don't know how that will work out though, because I mean we do have a 10% limit on it, so the opposing player will definitely have armor. Um, yeah, and then my tactics. Well, I mean that's something I can work on, but not. I really didn't. I split the force up quite poorly, and so on the south part of the map, I had nothing. You know, I had one platoon defending against probably at least two platoons, and on the north side, I had one platoon, two platoons who got close to taking victory axes, um, and I possibly could have taken them. I just wasn't sure I could hold them for the last turn. It wasn't obvious that I could do it, because had no idea how much how much forces he had in that area. Um, they were moving in, so I couldn't find them. I couldn't tell how close they were. So to me, it didn't seem like there was any point in taking them. That would have given me 1,000, and so it would have maybe shifted it to uh, um, a minor defeat, I think, is the next one up. Um, it would still have been a defeat. There's no way. Would have been no way to avoid that. Not with those kinds of losses. So yeah, it's one of those things where I can chalk it up to learning, but it's also difficult to know what what is the best way forward. I mean, just sorting out what units to use. Um, is it? I mean, it's very. I'm finding the points battles are very random, but I can't see any other way to learn it, except by just trial and error and taking the defeats and trying something different the next time. Mm, I, well, my worry is that I'm trying different things and trying the wrong things. So hopefully, some advice for unit purchase to begin with would be very helpful. Um, I know I'm buying the wrong things, and as an inexperienced player, I probably need more units. But with the Germans, it's kind of difficult to get like a lot of units at 1,000 points, unless you give up armor, because that's 100 points, almost 100 points right there. So there's definitely more things you could get with it. But then you have to figure out how to take care of the opponent's armor, because he will have he will have tanks, because we're allowing that in the points. So another possibility maybe is not to allow armor in the points and just make it a pure infantry battle. I guess I could try that idea, see if he's gonna go with what would be interested in doing that. I mean, for me, armor is pointless because I really not used to using them well at all. In fact, I don't think I use them properly at all. So, um, that doesn't really make any sense for me to actually have any armor. But like I said, the flip side is I have to be able to deal with the enemy's armor, and anti-tank rifles are not quite cutting it already. We're only 1940. I mean, the cruiser tanks were quite strong for the time in terms of armor. Um, the other nations' tanks were not as good, so so the anti-tank rifles may be effective there. It really depends on who you're fighting, I guess. So yeah, lots of questions, lots of doubts. I don't really have a clear idea of what exactly I could change to improve my circumstances a little bit. So it's kind of just poking about in the dark and taking the defeats in stride and hopefully not trying to learn something from what happened. I mean, I I think this battle went a little better than the previous crushing defeat, which was the preceding, the battle before this one. That one I just felt really lost. In this battle, at least I kind of was on. I had an idea where things were and what was happening. I mean, so it was not a little bit better for me, but it's still knowing that you're not playing well is kind of weighs you down sometimes. I guess I get over it. Okay, so that's it for play by email number 8. I guess we'll be starting another one. I don't see a reason not to start another one. I mean, it's just it's not the defeats are not really the problem. Is that I don't know exactly what I'm doing wrong, and how to figure out what I'm doing wrong is maybe the first step. I don't even know that. I know I'm doing well, at least one thing wrong, and that's my unit purchase. But there's probably other things that I could be looking at. Like with the units I had, what would have been better tactics? Because I mean, you have to work with. If you've made a mistake and bought the wrong units, um, then you have to live with it. Unless, of course, that's not an option. Maybe that is not possible. And, if you bought the wrong units that just aren't going to work, then you kind of have to say, well, that's it, we're done. Um, I mean, would surrender have been an option? Because I mean, there were points where I could tell that I was going to take a fairly hefty defeat, and not much. Wasn't really convinced that I would be learning much from it. And that's actually probably more worrying to me that I'm not really learning much. So it's difficult to improve when you're not seeing not understanding where you're going wrong. So anyway, that'll be it. Like I say, we'll probably start another battle probably before the end of the week. But I'll be streaming other things anyway, so it'll be a little bit of a break. I think that helped me a little bit from between the two battles, not just jumping right into the next one. Give a little time to think about it. Not that it helped me, not that it improved for my circumstances in this one at all, but like I say, it's difficult for me to know what I can improve or what I should be changing to try and move forward a bit. So if there's any advice, any suggestions, let me know. So that'll be it for Play by Him number 8. Okay, so